And devastating. The New York Giants lost a heartbreaker on Sunday to the Dallas Cowboys on the road, and in a shootout, the Giants somehow find a way to lose by a final score of 37-40 in OT. Russell Wilson, though, had a vintage performance, 30 of 41, passing for a single-game career high, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, albeit a costly one. As for Dallas, here's their head coach on their first win.
Cool way to win your first game. You know, you'll remember it forever, but the words that Dak and the players said to me after the game is why it's so special. It's I expect the first of many, but I'll remember this one forever because of the fight of these guys, the way they didn't quit.
Cam, it's hard out here in New York, let me tell you. What statement did Dallas make with that win?
They've made it abundantly clear that they know how they want to win football games. And, you know, Jerry Jones has said it. We want to stop the run. And when you look at the statistics in this particular game, the New York Giants did not run the football well. Of their awesome numbers, a lot of those came from Russell Wilson scrambling. Now, this is the thing when you go into a game, you can't stop everything. You just say to yourself, we're willing to lose if this situation happens. Now, did Russell Wilson cook? Absolutely. But we know Russ is going to Russ. We've seen the cooking and the burnt of the cooking as well, too. What we've seen over with Russell Wilson in the last 3 seasons, he's going to give you one of these type of games. In 2022, 340 yards versus Seattle. 2023, he had 2 300-plus yards with Miami as well as Washington. In 2024, while he was in Pittsburgh, he gave you a 414-yard game. He's going to give you one of these. So with this situation, I think the Dallas Cowboys said Russ is going to have to beat us, and he almost did, but didn't necessarily.
He would?
Yeah, listen, I think as far as Russell Wilson's concerned, here's the angle I'm looking at. What's been the noise here in New York? When is Jackson Dart going to play?
Absolutely.
And coming off of last week's game where the offense couldn't do anything, people thought that the timeline might have been accelerated considering how bad, you know, not only was the protection, but the way that Russell Wilson, his lack of playing in the first game. Fast forward to this week. They're playing an abysmal Dallas Cowboys defense. But it was vintage Russ out there. What has Russell Wilson always been known for throughout his career?
Long ball.
The long ball. And we saw play after play after play after play with the long ball when it came to Russell Wilson. So if you're Brian Daboll, your whole plan has always been, we want to push it out as far as when we want to have Jackson Dart out there on the field. Do you think Russell Wilson with his play yesterday kind of kept Jackson Dart at bay?
For another week.
I think he did. Come on, Cam. I think he did a little bit now with the way Russell Wilson was cooking out there.
No. And I don't want to come off as the hater or the big guy that's talking about Russ, because I know it's going to come.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have to make this point. Even though he had opportunities downfield, chunk plays, there were blown coverages. Trayvon Diggs.
Oh, we gonna get into it.
Why you always on the receiving end of a disastrous play that's like, yo, everybody's pointing in the secondary? Those are the things that they went up against. Now, are those more questions? Do you highlight Russell Wilson in the offensive play more so than downplaying the Dallas Cowboys pass defense? And I'm saying, like, both of them are a little alarming, but you have to start acknowledging the pass defense in Dallas.
Stephen A?
Well, the Dallas Cowboys, to answer the question directly, the statement that they made is that their defense is trash. I mean, that's the statement that they made. I mean, did you see how Russell Wilson looked? We didn't expect that. Obviously, props to Russell Wilson for the game that he had, passing 450 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know, throwing a deep ball, he was absolutely spectacular. Wendell Robinson, obviously Malik Neighbors, they had a field day. They were doing their things, and you pointed out the blown coverage, Cam. You're absolutely right. And a few members of Dallas' squad need to look at that. But in the end, I look at Russell Wilson and I'm like, what the hell are you doing throwing that interception in overtime? That's not a play that you try to make in overtime. Throwing up your back foot, lobbing it up there, looking like a Hail Mary in overtime, you can't do that. That gave Dallas the ball back, and obviously they were positioned to win the game. And to me, the fact that he made that mistake was bothersome because of the way that he played, how spectacular he looked in throwing the football for the vast majority of the game. I couldn't say enough about him. I was shell-shocked. I was very, very surprised, but pleasantly so, and props to Russell Wilson. But you can't throw that last interception. You just can't do that, all right? It's overtime. Both of y'all already had a possession. Now the next score wins, and you find yourself in a position where you gave that opportunity to Dallas. That was incredibly disappointing, especially considering the kind of day that he had. But we also got to point out to Dallas's secondary, my Lord. What the hell is going on there? And obviously, you were having problems getting to the quarterback. That's where you missed Micah Parsons. We're going to bring that up again. Offensively, they look potent when necessary. We give credit where credit is due. But this defense is not going to be something that you can rely upon moving forward. You want a statement that the Dallas Cowboys made, whether you're running on them or whether you're throwing on them. You can score on them, period. So that's what it is. That's the statement.
They were so determined to plug up their run defense that it now has made their pass defense more vulnerable because Mike is not there giving the pressure. Quarterback has more time. Defensive backs more vulnerable. Seeing Russell throw those long passes. Defense gave up 37 points to the New York Giants. They couldn't do anything the week before against Washington. And the Dallas defense is going to have to get it together here to be what this team wants it to be. And big test this week. The Cowboys defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, goes back to Chicago to go up against Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think we're overreacting a little bit because how many sacks did Dallas have? 3. When you're looking at these past highlights, it's Russell Wilson throwing with pressure, right? It's a murky pocket. It's not like he doesn't have any type of pressure. Malik Neighbors down there somewhere. He got bailed out a lot, you know what I'm saying, with those type of, opportunities. And Malik Neighbors is a baller. Russell Wilson's going to give you opportunities. That is the relationship with the receiver-quarterback relationship that makes it dynamic. He just got burned with making a decision that it ended up being costly. But when I'm looking at the Dallas defense, it's the secondary. When you're applying pressure, you don't necessarily get to always hit home, but at least you can make the quarterback feel your presence.
But here's
one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is anyone buying the Dallas Cowboys as contenders?
No. The reason why here's the deal. When you're playing defense as bad as Dallas, okay, you're not viable in the playoffs. I think as long as Dak Prescott is healthy with those weapons, they'll probably get in. But you're probably one and done because when you're a sieve on defense, when teams can just score at will, and Dak Prescott knows when he goes out on the field, almost every possession, I got to score because my defense can't stop anyone. It's similar like the way Joe Burrow felt playing with, when he was with the Bengals, knowing I have to have so much pressure on me to go out there and score because I can't rely on my defense to really back me up in these situations.
One of the things that I want to say about the New York Giants, Molly, let me give you a reason to be depressed. Not that I'm interested in making you depressed, but you're here, so it's necessary.
I already am.
As a Giants fan. 14 penalties for 160 yards that were accepted. That's pretty damn pathetic. 6 more were ignored. They were either offsetting penalties or they were declined.